It'll be that way for a while, especially on holidays.
It's
all good. Yeah.
You know, this area.
It'll be after they're gone anyway. So.
Yeah. That we didn't anticipate at the time.
All right. Ready, Jeffrey?
I'm sorry, sir.
You're fine.
You're
Thank
fine.
you.
Thanks. We'll catch up. Thank you.
Okay. Reconvene our meeting after that brief recess and move on to item C under special activities. And that's a public hearing for Resolution 5146, a resolution that initiates amendment to refine standards for the minimum lot size and multiple chapters of the Code Bridge Township, Warren County, Ohio zoning code. That being said, is there a motion to recess this meeting and move on to this next public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Muersfall. Yay. Mr. Gabbard.
Yay.
Mr. Wade.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, tell us about that, Jeffrey.
Yeah, Mr. Wayne, recall, we have, for this to be initiated, because we found, talking with a couple of developers, when we looked at drainage easements, we talked about them initially being areas where you're going to cut out and it's going to be everything that you couldn't use. And what came back was truly there is a drainage easement that exists as required by the Warren County subdivision regulations that we're giving basically no credit for the lot size. So by default, we're making lots larger where functionally we shouldn't have to.
Right.
So put that out. Ultimately, this has gotten zero publicity. No one seems to care. I still think it's a valid option. Whether that matters or not will be determined here in a couple minutes.
It should be a benefit.
It's a benefit.
Probably get some accolades.
Nobody.
Yeah, so
Maybe
maybe they'll be happy once it gets passed if it gets passed. Ultimately, the wording I had chosen was in excess of the minimum lot size established by the Warren County subdivision regulations for a plat. Regional planning came back, other than the required side and rear lot line drainage easements required in the Warren County subdivision regulations for a plat. It's fine with their wording. Authorship doesn't matter. They believe that's more clear. The zoning commission agreed that was more clear, so that is their recommendation to go with the verbiage from Warren County regional planning and approve the text. With that being said, I can answer questions if you have any.
I'm perfectly comfortable with Warren County Regional Planning with H also.
I thought yours was good too.
Yeah.
Well, we initiated it with mine, we'll stay with theirs.
Yeah.
No trouble.
Any other comments on this public hearing? If not, we'll adjourn the public hearing and then reopen the regular meeting. Motion to adjourn the public hearing.
So,
Mr. Gabbard. Mr. Muersfall. Yay. Mr. Wade.
Yay. And is there a motion to approve 5146?
so moved.
Second. Mr. Gabbard.
Yay.
Mr. Muersfall. Yay. Mr. Wade.
Yay. Anything else under special activity?
I have nothing else scheduled this time, sir. Thank you.
All right, moving into fiscal business. First, we have the fiscal officer's report.
He's still here.
Yeah, it happens. I'm here, I'm glad to be with you guys. You have the bills in front of you, if you would.
We have, I've had a chance to take a look at them, and I don't have any questions, gentlemen. Any questions about the current bills? Is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Muersfall.
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard.
Yay.
Mr. Wade.
Yay. And then we have resolution 5142, resolution requesting the county auditor to make tax advances during calendar year 2019 pursuant to Ohio Revised Code.
This is required annually by the county to enable us to ask for those advances. We will request those advances, and we gather the interest income on those advances. It's better in our pocket than in the county.
Absolutely. So a motion to approve 5142.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Gabbard.
Yay.
Mr. Muersfall.
Yay.
Mr. Wade.
Yay. And
I have a question on, have we been doing these in past years?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have 5143, a resolution approving a transfer of funds from the general fund to other funds in amounts equal to investment income generated by the fourth quarter earnings.
As directed by the board, we have done what you have directed us to do, and we've calculated those out, and these are the amounts that need to be transferred to meet the requirements that you have set forth.
Okay. Do I have any questions about this? there a motion to approve 5143?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And we have resolution 5144, resolution of intent to dispose of unneeded, obsolete, or unfit personal property, including automobiles, by internet auction in calendar year 2019. With deals.
Again, this is something that's required every year, and we do that at the start of the year. We have actually something that's going to get sold here pretty soon, so we need to approve this.
Okay, is there a motion to approve 5144?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay.
I am done, sir.
Okay. Okay. Anything for public comment? Yes, sir.
I just say, wonder, we probably buried your oldest township member today, Mrs. Blackburn out in Redline. She passed away, and we had her service there today. And see Rich Venture out there, 98 and a half.
98 and a half.
So she lived right in behind the Redline Church, that building there, over there. Ruth Blackburn, I was called there for her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. I did not know that she had passed away.
Yeah.
Okay. New business administration, we have 5147, a resolution certifying the changes to the Quigley Township road mileage during 2018.
Yep, the county engineer provided, or excuse me, the Ohio Department of Transportation and the county engineer provided us with an update to our road mileage, 91.972, nearly 92 miles of public roads in the township. So we have to certify this annually. This is really just a procedural regulation.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve 5147 and certify our road mileage?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay.
We're not gonna let this pass by without you saying.
No, I'm not gonna say anything this year.
Yeah, no.
If you're curious, in the last 8 years, it's gone up 14.827 miles. 8 years.
I'm trying to get him to say what it was when he started.
39, under 40 miles.
You got to.
It's not about your age, it's just about I was 6 when you started.
I thought
We're not-
you were gonna have.
I think there's at least
Mike had
5
just graduated from high school.
subdivisions coming up next year.
Main thing was the Indian problem.
I thought you guys were trying to set a meeting on the 14th, that's my birthday. All right.
February 14th was your birthday?
Yeah, it's Valentine's
I
Day.
did not know that. My wife's having like surgery that day.
Ooh, well, I hope I'm not there.
She'll probably be at the lawyer's on the 15th when she sees how I look.
Resolution, moving on to resolution 5051, a resolution declaring personal property as surplus and approving an internet auction direct sale donation. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, this is our annual spring auction that we like to do. We like to surplus equipment that we've collected over the winter time. And actually, there's a good deal of police and fire equipment that you would have seen in the spreadsheet in your meeting packet. If you have any questions about the materials, I'm glad to answer.
Anybody have any questions?
That was 5150.
5150, yes, sir. So a motion to approve 5150.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw? Mr. Wade?
Yay. And we also have a request to pay the long-term care insurance that we've done for many years for Mrs. Hoffman.
Yep, the amount increased this year from about 4,500 last year to 5,202.21. So outside of that anomaly, I really don't have anything further to add. Mr. Wade, obviously, sitting on the board with this particular requirement.
Yes.
Came to fruition, so.
Yep. That was, gosh, I can't remember how long ago that was, but it was a long time.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions about this expenditure? Is there a motion to approve the expenditure to pay this long-term care?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah. And anything else under administration with this? The fire district, request to renew and initiate the blue card training.
It's our annual subscription, plus we're sending 16 people through the program this year.
The cost is $6,479, in line with what it has been in the past, I said. So a motion to approve this expenditure?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And a request to approve the online training subscription for the Fire Academy.
Yeah, this is the software program we use for our continuing education so that we can do everything in-house, training-wise. While it's an expensive software program, it would be a lot more expensive to send everyone out to training all the time. So we're able to manage everything ourselves.
At a cost of $3,060, is there a motion to approve that expense?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And a request to adjust pay rates for Jordan Holbrook to $21.59 an hour and Wade Easterling to $20.56 an hour to reflect the earnings that paramedic certificates have. Good, good.
Congratulations to both of you.
Mhm. Good job.
Yeah, Jordan is off probation, Wade is not, so that's the discrepancy in that.
Good for that. Is there a motion to approve these pay increases?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. Monthly report, Chief?
Just two real quick things to point out. Number one is firefighter Tony LeMaster. He coordinates our adopting a family for Christmas, so he's done that. This was his 7th year doing that, so just kudos to him. He puts a lot of time, him and his wife both, and been doing that, so we're able to make Christmas a little brighter for a family. And then at the bottom of the page, firefighter paramedic Naveed Khan is now a U.S. citizen, so he's been working on getting that done for 14 years now. They do it the right way, and him and his wife both on the same day, so congratulations.
Good for them. Yeah, congratulations to them. Anybody have any questions for the chief? Okay. Moving on to the police department, we have a request to extend full-time probationary period of Jared Lee by 3 months, effective January 20th. Chief?
Our normal probationary period is 12 months. Officer Lee's doing a good job as patrol officer. We've had a couple personal issues that we just want to kind of stretch out a little bit longer and look at, and the contract does allow me to ask for an aggregate extension. I think we're going to get him there. Like I say, he's doing a really good job as a policeman, so just want a little bit longer look at him if we could.
Okay. Anybody, any questions for the chief about that, or a motion to approve this extension of the probationary period?
I'll move for the extension of probation.
Second?
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And we have a request to make a conditional offer of full-time probationary employment as police officer to Eric Peabody.
Yeah, this is our first dip into a lateral entry type. In other words, bringing somebody from another police department that wants to leave there, and we want to be very cautious of that, making sure that we're still getting quality candidates, but yet benefit-wise, on the backside, somebody's experienced. We have 2 positions we're still looking to fill. One of those, Mr. Peabody is tested for, done very well. He's currently a Springfield police officer, has an extensive military background. It's been very impressive through the whole phase. So we'd like to go ahead and give him a conditional offer hire that allows us to move into the medical phase before I would bring him back to you all to discuss a permanent hire.
Where does he live?
He lives up around Springfield. Him and his wife, if he gets the job, they're intended to relocate and get a little closer. May is probably the drive time's about equal, probably Officer May, but they have indicated that if he does get the job, that they do want to move a little closer. Quite frankly, they're wanting to get out of Springfield. His father is actually a retired Springfield police officer who said, "Get out of here, it's getting bad." So that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Is there a motion to approve this probationary offer?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And we have a request to authorize the expenditure of $20,000 of the Loeb Foundation grant money, along with $4,439 of township funds to purchase 2 speed trailers.
Yeah, we currently have 2. We wanted to add 2. Every spring, we get inundated with requests to put these things out. It's a great traffic calming thing. It also allows us to go in and judge that complaint. A lot of times there are speed, but there are not speeding problems. If we go in and we black those out for a week to get a feel for what's going on, and then we turn them on for the second week, and maybe second and third week, when we look at that rotation through the summer, we're only getting use of that maybe once or maybe twice at the most a month someplace. And if you come in during the summer, you'll see on the board where we have the streets waiting and the subdivisions waiting for those to move around. Low, this is the kind of thing low back, something that helps the community. So I chose to look at that for the low grant, so, yeah, so it's the same company we deal with now. In the packet, I think I provided the actual bid. There's a thing there where we get a $2,000 trade-in value. It's really just a marketing issue. We have the old speed trailer that went defunct, so they give us credit for that speed trailer at a marketing point. They give us $1,000 off, and then they give it back to us, and they trade it in again, give us another $1,000 off the other one. So they discount by $2,000 if you're wondering what the trade-in was. We're not trading it again. It's just their marketing ploy.
All right. So the 24,430 is the correct purchase?
Correct.
Bottom line. So motion to approve this expenditure of the loan foundation grant.
So moved.
Second.
Mr., I just make sure I got this right, because it had the 4439.
39, it's 4430.
It's 4430?
That's of our money, and 40 of the loan.
All right, just want to make sure then. All right.
Yeah, there was a misprint on the agenda.
All right. Mr. Mearsfall?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah. Monthly report, Chief?
I don't have anything monthly, but I just want to bring up two things. At the end of the year, I asked the board to allow us to look, we had budgeted, or going to budget for this year to replace the tactical shield armament that goes inside that. There was a grant, unusual grant that came up. We were scrambling to get part of that, so I asked the board since we had some funds, go ahead and allow us to go ahead and do that last year. We have done that. The good news on the backside is we were awarded that grant. So about a $27,000 expenditure, so we're going to get $21,372.64 from that grant, and we're currently in the process of, now that we've bought those, applying back for that. So that worked out real well for us. I appreciate the board jump-starting that last year with us and allowing us to go ahead and move on that while the grant was there before it kind of disappeared. So we were worried it might not be there long. So.
Well, it's a good job.
The second thing is if you've been by Emmanuel Baptist Church, this summer we started a project down there looking at, they have a school in there, most people are not aware of that. The markings down there have really become terrible on the street and the signs, and we spent about a week and a half down there pulling people over that were way above the speed limit. Not writing tickets, but just getting a judge for how many people were not understanding that it was a school zone. It was actually pretty shocking, so luckily the county was in the process of paving this year. And they stepped up to bat and helped us out on that project after we went down and presented our study to them, and they provided the blacktop, which was coming in anyways, but they also provided new signage, new pavement markings, and they actually put up two lights on each area now identifying that school zone. I think they said those were $10,000 apiece, somewhere in the neighborhood. So appreciate the people stepping up to that. Looks like we did with new blacktop, a more than wonderful thing than what we were planning, but the guys have said it's already affected some of the traffic down here. Hopefully that'll slow some of that down.
Actually, yeah, like that way pretty frequently, and most of the time someone's right on my property.
Support?
Maybe it's not been that way. It's been a little down there, good. Officer Bates did a good job putting together that case package too. It's a compelling story by statistics.
Wow, good to hear. Way to go. Anything else, Chief?
That's all I have, sir.
Anybody have any questions for the chief before we move on to the zoning department?
Oh, we going to do the zoning.
It's hard to
I
believe.
thought that was the first two acts.
We have a request to accept the resignation of the Board of Zoning Appeals member Art Hart and to appoint Stacy Tippler as the alternate member to fill the unexpired term of Hardin, which expires March 31st, 2020.
Yeah, with the modification that, there's a typo, it's actually for the zoning commission instead of.
I was going to say, it's not
So,
appeals.
she came through, you did an interview during
Right.
that cycle,
Yep.
but
Yep.
I erred, so my apologies, it should be the zoning commission.
Well, your letter says it correctly.
She's an outstanding candidate. This actually worked out rather well.
Yeah, so I thought, since Mr. Hardin, he's in the process of retiring, and many times he's gonna retire, I'm not sure of his rate, I had some discussion. But he's a man of many interests, he has a boat, last year was playing with his boat more than he was able to be in this part of Ohio, which is great for him. He's done wonderful for us.
The young kids, she's saying, awesome. Many other things.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's what I say, I wish him the best of luck, he did a great job with us, but we have an opening, I'd like to fill it with someone who you guys all felt from my perception, was worthy of serving with us.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
And I will make the offer and
Great.
get it here to get sworn in.
Do you need a motion to go ahead and make that?
Yes.
So let's have a motion to accept Art's resignation and offer Stacy Tippler the alternate position.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay?
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And you have a monthly report.
I can answer questions you have.
I don't have any questions to that. Okay. Anything else from the zoning department?
Not tonight, sir.
Okay. Road department? Anything special?
Not really,
Snow
but-
and ice?
You had asked earlier about what we spent on paving, and you'll see in there that for 2019, we got 429,664, so.
Which was a huge year for us. Wasn't that quite a bit of
About
fun?
last year when it was.
Last year was 680, yeah, it was almost 700. It came in, yeah, we got a discount, but.
So what do we expect this year? Are we gonna be up around that 430?
430.
Okay, that's true. I've forgotten then how much we've increased.
Well, we had to go back
We
and.
got catch up.
Catch
We got
up.
Catch up
Yeah.
from Jack, South
Yep.
a little bit.
Yep.
Trust me, I believe that. I got my ears full from some people down south part of the township. The whole street was out there.
Well, you didn't get the ears full with me today, so I want to commend the road department guys for doing one dang good job.
Yeah.
We got several,
Not a single call.
I got several texts and compliments and questions of people still don't know whose roads are whose, but it's all good.
Those are compliment you do carry.
Yeah, it's like, yep, that was us, absolutely. Looks great, yep, that's us.
Only 4 real complaints in one mailbox. I had to.
Well, and the mailbox was rotten, so the police went out and looked at it and said it was rotten from the get-go, so really that was a non-issue. Couple of complaints on, we got into Stony Point a little bit late, and frankly, that was just because Mark's new and has a whole new route, forgot it was his subdivision. You know, and really that was it, so nothing to speak of.
Oh, good. Excellent. Great job.
Scott's working with a couple of experienced guys, and a couple of guys hurt, coming back from injury too, so they did a hell of a job.
We're down Ryan, which really hurt.
Yeah.
He does a fantastic job when he's here. I mean, when he does his route, he's done it so long, he's done helping everybody, and it's a loss to not have him here, so we're down in one complete drive.
Great job, and
Nice work.
that's the biggest event we've had in how long?
I think 8 years since we've had that much, and it was a disheartening event too. It was
Yes.
done, and then we had to do the whole thing all over
I
again.
think everybody here felt the same way when they looked out the window on Sunday. I was like, wait a minute.
And for most of that, we had to go onto a rotation to meet our 16-hour limit, so most
Right.
of the time we were here with 3 guys on a rotation, so. The tougher the better, when everybody grinds it out and shows, what they're really worth here, so.
Good job. Any questions for, about the road department, parks department, anything going on? Parks? All quiet. Snowy out there. Staff reports, staff updates. Anything? Anybody have anything else? Shocked with that?
I do not. I have a story to tell, but I can't bring myself to tell yet. Suffice to say, our fire chief is a class act, and that's all I'm gonna say for now. He did something for me over the holidays, didn't do it for me. I'll tell it, hell, if I start crying, I start crying. My father, as most of you know, was a fireman here, and, Steve has a tradition now that he hands a coin to, see, I can't look at him, so I'll look away, to previous members, and, pretty special. Pretty special moment.
And your dad, I'm sure, thought it was very special.
He has not stopped talking about it, and I'm pretty sure right now all the guys he played golf with today in Florida found out about it. It speaks to something beyond me and my family. It speaks to the guys that did this way back when in the 60s and 70s that volunteered to do it, and it was like a brotherhood that it is now officially. That he didn't really think he meant anything to. I mean, I don't say that flippantly. I don't think he ever really thought
What they were really doing.
Yeah, and he told the story. He finally told the story at the last station of why he quit being a paramedic, And then, because he was part of the group that started the paramedic service in the late sixties. Prior to that, they used the undertaker. Would come and get people that were sick, which to this day, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Laying there with a broken leg and seeing a hearse show up, so.
I don't know if you guys knew that. We called the ambulance, and the only ambulance around was the Humblesbees.
Yeah.
So you had to get transported, you got transported in the hearse.
And he would wear a suit, so you always make sure he's got a suit on.
Save the step.
Wasn't about time, stop looking good.
In any event.
That's why it took him time to put a suit on.
I have a tradition on Christmas Eve, and I brought my dad along for it this year, which was pretty fun, and that was a great moment, and the guys were all there for it too, so. Even made my stepmom cry, which is hard to do, so.
Did that get recorded?
Well, I'll give you a hand.
Anything else? Anybody have anything else? Is there a motion to adjourn?